sir. They fired on some force command coming around Louisville.
It's just a guy was screwing around aiming on the artillery piece, just ran off.
I think that's a bad thing. I think that's a bad thing.
Very Confederate.
Remember when the guy
Understood.
was in the law, they hadn't done anything yet, this guy's over there fiddling around and aiming an artillery piece. He liked artillery. He made friends, they had their best off the job. Who was that? At Chattanooga.
I think that was
Given the twos, right? And I've always thought, wait, there again, Grant getting petty. The guy likes it. He's got nothing else to do. Why not go out? You or I would. It's fun.
did that, so Air Force did that. Grant dog Thomas from Russian Cavalry. It was very terrible. And then when Sherman took command, that was Thomas's command. But Thomas said, I'll be happy to serve under Sherman. I would serve under a stick. Don't make me be responsible for the stick.
What a Granger also that took him on eventually got tired of not getting orders to do anything and said, we're going to march to the sound of the guns.
Yes, he did.
I like Granger.
He had some corruption problems later on, and at Nashville is what Negley was going to go to. That's Negley. Negley. I'm sorry, I got mixed up. But you're right. Yeah.
It was Negley that had the financial problem.
Negley had the corruption problems. They changed the force names back in the day. Sir, up there,
Grant get Negley out of the theater after
James Negley.
She run cavalry tested rallies a couple of years ago.
Now you're told, James Tuttle, Shiloh was the Iowa thing. After Shiloh, he was so corrupt that it, quote unquote, it made the veteran politicians aghast.
They knew.
Which was a shame.
That's too blatant now. You got to be small. Don't do it that big. You get us all in trouble.
Lovely Brick Billy.
Yes, Shane Tuttle was really good in Sanskrit.
Yes, sir. Will be.
That shows you what
James, sir.
You were talking about Tuttle, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was a really good commander. That was a shame.
He did well in Shiloh.
She'd asked him.
Tom, you referred a while ago. Are we to assume that a lot of the earthworks at Donaldson have been enhanced back around the Chevy days? Because they looked awfully good. Now, Biggs said they had not, but they just looked too good to me. I've seen a lot of work.
I've been told that it
I don't think we couldn't find him. He wasn't as old as this one.
We're not going to go here, of course. But I think of this next light, it's called EDDY, Eddie Lane. We'll take a right there.
They have a best part of she's still on the we have martinis.
I think that is really great. Oh, like at the time, imagine attacking something that looked like
Super Bowl party.
formidable stuff.
Those countries.
Yes, but you know, I think that's a tough moment. With what we never see is that long
This is Fort Granger. What was the purpose of building this fort? Remember that 63 era after Fort Donaldson? Of course, Franklin was under occupation in March of 62 to December 62, I think December 7th, and then Confederate occupation until after Stones River. And then they came back here in February and started building this fort. You know, Van Dorn is at Columbia. And of course, Franklin's here and the Federal's here. And started this fort construction 24 hours a day, 2 12-hour shifts, non-slave labor. One soldier in 86 Illinois said how beautiful Franklin was. was the Harpeth River is right below us. I'll show you in a while. And this is new. I've never seen this before, but look, see that little gap there? That's where a cannon was. You'll see these little gaps in the trenches. That's where cannons were. And it was used as, Mr. Jeffries knows, it was used at the First Battle of Franklin, April 10th, 1863. There were 24 cannons in here, as well as on paper, if it was attacked. 5,700 infantry could hold, 2,700 and some odd dismounted cav it could hold. All the trees were cut down. Only one tree was left in here as a crow's nest. That also signal with flags, of course, you know that, and different colored fireballs. Did anyone know that here? That they signal like that?
Yeah.
25 years ago, I didn't either. But I learned that, what they know. Up at Winston Hill, I'll point out Roper's Knob. Maybe we'll see it up there. But they were not worried about attack from the south. When we get over there, you'll see the bluffs. They're worried about them getting from behind. And June 4th of 63, Forrest came in here behind the town, and let citizens out of a jail. So they're worried about attack from this way, not from that way. You'll see why. This was General Schofield's headquarters during the Battle of Franklin. Why did he move his headquarters from the middle over to here? Why do you think?
He was worried about being flanked.
That's right. And that's what A.P. Stewart said later, that was the best way to do as well. But he was here, and Cox moved his headquarters east too, but not east of this. And that's why he was here. And there was Wood's division, T.J. Wood's division was in reserve at the base of this fort as well in case of emergency. We'll go on. Technically historians, and you're all historians, and I'm supposed to go what if, that's what you're here for, and to see things, and I think that's important to know the options and what you could have tried. You can go crazy, unravel like a ball of thread if you keep on going that way, but still, I think it's interesting, and it's an important note here. And these are 10 feet wide, 15 feet tall earthenworks. The trees grew up in here after the war, and it served as a natural canopy to protect the erosion, like at Mill Creek Gap. Trees grew up everywhere, and they're perfect. They're wonderful up there. I just got to see them last week for the first time. And in 1863, in June 26th or 5th, there was an Orton Williams and Get Peters. Orton Williams had dated Robert E. Lee's daughter. Generally didn't approve of it. He was reckless. I think he had a drinking problem as well. And at Shiloh, he received commendation for Bragg for an attack at the Waterhouse Battery up there, et cetera, et cetera. Early war in Missouri. I've been corrected up there. No, it's Missouri. And then other people say, no, it's Missouri. Potatoes, potatoes. But early war, Orton Williams was there with Get Peters, his cousin. And a man failed to salute him. And he pulled out his sword and ran him through. And he said, to the effect, I forgave him for his ignorance. I pitied him for his, okay, let me get this right. I forgave him for his ignorance. I pitied him for his stupidity. I slew him for his insolence. Well, hell, that was the talk of the Army. Needless to say, for God's sake, don't forget to salute. After that, or you're dead. That was tied to his demise here, because we're the Confederates in '63 after Stones River. Sparta, Eagleville, Shelbyville, Tullahoma, and Columbia. And now here's where it gets a little bit dicey, is that he and Get Peters were in Union Federal. See, I even did it. See? Still won't have it. In federal uniforms. Some say they're on a fool's errand. Just why did they come up here? Because he was supposed to command a brigade and the men wouldn't serve under him. Can you blame them? Hell, you don't salute, you're dead. And they wouldn't serve under him. And from there it's dicey. They were in federal uniforms and they were coming up here. He said that they made a bet with each other, they'd get $50 out of a federal officer and get on their way. They did, but they ran them down and called them. That sounds a little bit weird. Some say they're on a fool's run up here by themselves. I don't believe that. No way. They were on some kind of mission. And I think they're going into Nashville to suspect things. Some say they're going to Canada. I don't know. I think they're going to Nashville. But they were captured. And a drumhead court martial. Does anyone know what that means? That means quick.
Yeah.
There ain't no long trial and long appeals and anything like that. Rosecrans ordered a drumhead court martial. That means convict them quick and kill them. And they convicted them. They swore they were not spies, but you're in the enemy's uniform, you're in trouble, you know. And right down there, the oak tree is still standing, but it's dead. They embraced each other. And of course, on the initials on his sword said Captain Orton Williams, CSA. I forgot to do that. And then they were executed, hung on that oak tree down there. Robert E. Lee was very angry that was so quick like that. And but if it's not being attacked, there was huts in here for officers' huts, but most of the men would camp on the outside. They're not camping inside these ditches. But the Cavalier, that's where that walkway is, at the fort, within the fort. We'll discuss when we get up there. Now we're going to walk in here. It shouldn't be bad. I'll try it first, but I beg you, just be careful. Just be careful. Watch me fall. No. But stay, maybe guide on this where it's dry a little bit. Hold on to your friends. If, you know, I don't think it's going to be any problem. Okay.
I've fallen before, man. It's happened before.
I thought you killed yourself.
I just took a tumble,
You know, isn't
man.
this incredible when you get down in here? Look how high it is. I never have ceased to be amazed. You're not going to see a lot of trenches on the battlefield of front. And it's just a gym. And north behind the city.
That is extraordinary. Yeah. You can tell because of the time of the year. Yeah, and be able to recreate the sides. They can recreate the conditions and measuring little levels on it. Make a whole calendar. But not knowing it in 10 years.
Let's move this way, folks, just a little bit. We're all friends now.
This guy is that little shaky that does that.
Put your hat on pretty tight.
Jogger alert.
Well. And you know what? He's doing what most people are not supposed to do. They're not supposed to. Let's see. He's climbing on the trenches. We know better than that, don't we?
Is he really?
We don't climb on the trenches. There's signs saying don't do that, but whatever.
It's further. I think it's further.
Only 150-year-old trenches right there. Okay, folks, nonetheless, I have no comments to myself. Once again, look at the 12 o'clock. Look at the road cutting through those two hills. 12 o'clock there. There's Breezy Hill to your left, Winstead Hill to your right. All these trees were cut down. Why would they cut down all the trees in front of a fort?
Artillery. Field of
For
fire.
the field of fire. Yes, artillery. Field of fire. All the trees, no old trees out there. Harpeth River, it flows east of the town, then it goes north of the town. And that's where the two of the three bridges have been burned and flooded out when Schofield escaped the trap. And the Federals did not want a battle here. They wanted to get to Nashville. Thomas and Schofield, especially Schofield, didn't like Thomas. He was a cadet at West Point. He and another cadet wrote some nasty things on the blackboard, and 16 wanted to exonerate him, 2 wanted to dismiss him. Thomas was one of them. And he held that against Thomas. Also, in this